All right, so Jesse Rogers on ESPN.com this morning, he put out a hot stove survey titled "Where Will DeGrom and Judge Sign? Who Will Get Traded? MLB Execs Weigh In." And this is obviously the week before the winter meeting, so he's just kind of polling executives what he thinks going to happen. Some of the questions: will Aaron Judge get a package worth more than $320 million? Who will he sign with? Which shortstop will get the most dollars and years in free agency among Turner and Correa? Where will the four big free agent shortstops sign? Will Jacob deGrom leave the Mets? Will Verlander leave the Astros? Which top pitcher after Verlander and deGrom will provide the most value? Which team will make the biggest splash this offseason? And then he gets down to who will be the most notable player traded this winter. And so what are some names that we would kind of throw out there? Sean Murphy of the A's, right? Pablo Lopez for the Marlins. Maybe Brian Reynolds with Pittsburgh, right? Those are just some names I'm thinking about. Colton Wong in Milwaukee. They're trying to cut money. Corbin Burns, I think that's a long shot, but maybe him. But then there's a name that is in there that an exec told Jesse Rogers, and that is Fernando Tatis Jr. Rogers writes, some executives answered who was most likely to be traded as much as who will be the most notable, while the Tatis voter didn't explain his choice, but certainly raised eyebrows with his pick. So why does this executive think Fernando is going to get traded? And then he didn't even provide an explanation. Did you not provide an explanation, Mr. Executive, because you're just trying to throw it out there and just be funny, like Tatis is going to get traded? I don't have a reason, but I think he's going to get traded. No, you don't have a reason because it's a dumb thing to trade Fernando Tatis Jr. Why would the Padres trade Fernando Tatis Jr.? Anyone have an answer to that? I don't. I mean, the people that will say, oh, maybe they trade Tatis because they're going to bring in Trey Turner and Bogarts or Turner, and they signed Soto, so you need Tatis gone to be able to have, the money work out. That's nonsense. I mean, they gave Fernando Tatis Jr. $340 million to be one of the stars on their team for the next decade plus. They didn't give him $340 million to go trade him. That just doesn't make sense. I mean, shortstop, he can play the outfield. He hit 40-plus home runs in 2021. This guy would have won Rookie of the Year in 2019 if he didn't get hurt in April against Washington, trying to do like the splits at shortstop, try to be a first baseman on the throw. I forget who the pitcher was. Maybe it was like Robbie Erlin or something. I forget. But he got hurt, I think, later in that year too. But it's just idiotic. Like, yeah, the Padres are going to trade Tatis. Why would they do that? Why would you trade, Brian Windhorst when the whole KD trade stuff was going on in Utah, traded Royce O'Neal to the Nets. He was like, why would they do that? And that went like viral. This would work for that. This is my reaction. Why would they do that? Why would the Padres trade one of the best players in baseball when they're trying to win right now? They just made it to the NLCS without this guy. Don't you think an MVP candidate would help them get to the World Series? I think that's all I have to say. I mean, I think it's idiotic to think that Tatis is going to get traded. The Padres, sure, they were disappointed in him in 2022 because of the ringworm and all that, just like the whole fan base was. But that doesn't mean they go trade the guy. That doesn't mean they give up on the guy. Right? This guy's still in his prime, maybe just getting into his prime. And don't you think that a guy watching from his couch, watching the Padres have all that success this past season without him, wouldn't you think that would motivate him and kind of piss him off and say, I want to be there with this team. I want to be here with the Padres. and get them over the finish line. They made it to the NLCS without me. Imagine what they could do with me. I want to be the reason why the Padres win their first World Series ever. They couldn't get through the World Series. They couldn't get to the World Series. I'm going to be the reason why they make it to the World Series. Don't you think that's going through his head? Like, I think so. So, yeah, let's trade one of the best players in the league. Let's trade a guy that can hit 40 home runs for you, a guy that can hit at the top of the order, a guy that's just starting his prime, a guy that's pissed off and motivated. Yeah, let's just trade him. The executive didn't even give a reason why. Because you don't have a reason.